It's getting a lot warmer these days. The weekend that we had is proof. And as we head into the summer months and tanning season, the dangers of skin cancer come to mind. Joining me now is Dr. Jane Grant-Kels, head of the UConn Department of Dermatology. How are you?
Good. Good morning.
So let's talk about May. May is a melanoma awareness month, correct?
Yes. And I would advocate your listeners not to get their vitamin D from the sun, but to take it through a pill.
I'm glad you said that because I'm pregnant and I was talking about it. I said maybe I need to go out in the sun a little bit longer, but okay, and I will talk to my doctor before that, right?
Right.
I pay attention. So let's talk a little bit about melanoma and the risk factors with melanoma.
Well, the risk factors are obviously sun. Sun is a
Yes.
known carcinogen. Part of it is also family history, the number of moles, beauty marks that you have on your body, and if the number and if they're atypical could put you at increased risk. And then coloring. People who have fair skin and fair eyes and fair hair are at increased risk. Having said that, though, I'd like to alert people to the fact that people who are darker skinned are also somewhat at risk. Even though less, they're still at risk.
Okay, and I found this interesting, the fact that melanoma accounts for only about 4 to 5% of all skin cancer cases, but it causes most skin cancer related deaths. Explain that.
Well, melanoma is the most lethal cancer of all cancer. So size for size, millimeter for millimeter, gram for gram, melanoma is the most lethal cancer, and does have a propensity to metastasize, and if not caught early, can cause the demise of patients.
Let's talk about the target areas where melanoma develops for men and for women.
Well, that's changing because of suntan parlors. So it used to be that men got melanomas on their back and women mostly got it on their legs. But that's not the case anymore. Young women who are at the greatest risk and the most, they are the group that's growing the most for getting melanoma. Young women and young pregnant women tend to get melanoma on their trunk and legs and face now.
Okay, and let's also talk about the incorrect usage of sunscreen and how this attributes to melanoma sometimes. I never know what's the proper sunscreen because you want a little bit, but you want a lot of protection, but you want to get a little sun. So,
well, actually, you don't want to get a little sun. I mean, sun is a known carcinogen, so you want to use a high SPF number.
So a 30, perhaps?
I like 30 or higher.
Okay.
And you want it to be total block, so UVB and UVA. The SPF is only for the UVB light. So you want UVA blockage also, and you want it to be waterproof, and then don't believe it. And nobody puts sunscreens on correctly. You're supposed to put it on about a half hour before you leave the house, and then reapply it 20 minutes later because you've missed spots and not put it on heavy enough.
What kind of advice would you have for young women who are trying to get a little bit of a tan? And you're thinking, well, I mean, would you suggest putting a very high sunscreen and then maybe just a little bit and then go under the shade?
I would tell them that getting a tan is not what they should want.
I know.
Because every time your skin gets tan, it's a reaction to being damaged. So obviously a burn is the worst, but a tan is also not healthy for the skin. So you've got to re-educate yourself.
And tanning booths, you would say no to that.
I say no to that as I say no to cigarettes and drinking and driving.
It's amazing how many young girls and adults I see at, walking into the tanning salon sometimes.
Yeah, it's a shame.
How about the spray tan?
I have no problems with the spray tan. They don't protect you, but there's no evidence that they do any harm.
It's a sugar-based substance. That's what I read.
And it complexes to the top layer of your skin, and so far there's been no deleterious side effects. And if people enjoy looking a little bit darker, that's fine. But they should remember that it's not protective like a natural tan.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you.